Hi everyone and greetings to you all. Welcome to the sixth video of my video blog, Being Sensitive and Having Chronic Pain. And I wish to say a special thank you to those who have been waiting for a very long time for this sixth video to come out, because there has been quite a gap between my fifth and sixth video. I think more than 3 months. So thank you to those who have really waited patiently for that. And the reason that it has been such a long time is that I have gone through the biggest transition of my life. And I dedicate this sixth video to that biggest transition in my life because it directly links to the purpose of this whole video series, which is using your challenge, which is your chronic pain, to become the greatest version of yourself. So what have I been going through is, to keep it short, is that I went to the biggest transition of my life, which was 2 moves within 3 months. And the first of those 2 moves was the move to another country. Well, most people know that moving to another house is and can be a very stressful event. It is and can be a very stressful event even if you don't have a sensitive nervous system, and even if you don't live with chronic pain or any pain on a daily basis. But what if you do live with pain on a daily basis? And what if you have a very sensitive nervous system and you are very sensitive to any change in your life? What then? So yes, this is what happened to me, and what I have learned is something that I think I already knew, and now even more, is that when you have to go through such challenges, your pain sort of does not go into standby mode. No. Not only does it not go into a standby mode, like, okay, pain, I have to go through this very big transition now, and I need you to do this for me. No, not only does it not go into standby mode, and I'm smiling while I'm saying this now, but actually it wasn't very funny. It was totally not funny at all. Not only did it not go into standby mode, actually it deteriorates big time. So not only do you already have your existing chronic pain that you live with on a daily basis, you get some extra. And not just that, as they call it and I'm sure that if you have lived with chronic pain yourself, that you have heard of this, they call it a flare-up of your systems. And I sort of experienced the mother of all flare-ups, and this was in the midst of all that was happening. This biggest transition in my life is of course a private thing, but what I want to share with you is something that hopefully even can bring something to you, which is that about 1 year before I went through this biggest transition, which I moved twice, but for me the biggest transition is the one from one country to another. About 1 year before it happened, I was already planning it. And during that year, you can say that I had two voices in my head about this, about two different opinions or two different thoughts or feelings about what was going to happen to me. And these were, one was some voice speaking to me saying, this is so scary for me, and it puts me in such fear, and it would paralyze me. I would freeze, and it would say, this is not going to happen. You can't do this. I don't have the courage to do this. It's too scary. It makes me sad. It breaks my heart. Well, everything you can come up with, it would come up. But at the same time, and it sounds like a contradiction, but this was going on, it was in my heart, deep somewhere within. There was no thinking, there was no believing, there was no doubt. There was simply a knowing that not only was I going to do it, but at the moment, let's say that you move to another country and that you have to say goodbye to people or that you have to leave things behind, it said to me, you are going to do this. And in a way, you're going to absolutely know that it's the right thing that you have to do because it's meant to be for you. So these were the two completely different things that were going on within me for a whole year. And the more I approached the date that it was going to happen, the more I could feel both sides. Oh, the doubt and the freezing, the paralyzing of the fear, which fear is just as pain. And at the same time, the more I could feel the knowing of this is what I want to do and this is the right thing to do. I have no doubts about that. I'm going to do this. And so even before that happened, there was something within me that said, okay, you feel this fear, you feel this sadness, but at the same time you know that it's the right thing for you and it's meant to be for you. This is your path. At the same time, I had this feeling, but think about the reward. When I do it, and once I've done it, when I'm at the other side, let's say when I've done the move and I'm there, I will always be able to tell myself, yes, it nearly broke my heart. It did this and this to me that I really didn't like, that really hurt. But I did it, and I will always know that I had the courage to do this. And I feel emotions coming up now saying that. And it's good because I want to convey to you what it has meant to me. So I knew that whatever would happen, if I had done that, I would be able to tell myself, wow, you thought you didn't have it in you, but you had the courage to do that. And I already knew what this was going to do for my self-esteem. And now I can directly connect it to the purpose of my video blog, using your challenge of living with chronic pain, your invisible pain that others cannot see, that you live with on a daily basis, using that to get to your greater self. And as you will often know, living with chronic pain, you know what it does to your body image, to your image of self. It often very negatively affects that. So if something in your life happens to you that can boost that self-esteem, wow, I mean, that is better than any drug. That is better than any medication prescribed to you. That is amazing. And this happened to me. So amidst all the challenges, amidst all of that, my pain, not going in standby mode, even getting worse, constantly having flares. So my body felt as if I was, under a truck all the time. Such a heavy load on me, literally feeling it in your joints, in your muscles, in your connective tissue, in my head, in my jaw, in my nerves, everywhere. Not only did it feel like a struggle up the hill, it felt like a struggle up the hill with a heavy load on my back, carrying that on and on and on. And amidst all of that, this happened. I had the courage to do it, and I thought, yes, whatever happens, I have this. Cannot take this away from me. I have this knowledge that I had courage to do that. Bang. And what does this do for my self-esteem? In ways, I think it has not landed yet, but it will. Because very often in your process with chronic pain, your mind is somewhere here, and your body is still somewhere here. Let me show it right for you. So it means that the mind is further than the body, and even if you come into a more calmer and relaxed stage, the body is not there yet. So I was thinking about an expression, a saying, which goes, if I always do what I've always done, I will always get what I've always got. And there's one thing for sure, that now I've gone through this very big transition. Hey, I've never done that before. This is so different. I never had this courage before. I never had to show it. I didn't know I had it in me. So in however way you turn it, however challenging it is, I will get my rewards for this. Things will change for me for the better. So that is something that I am grateful for being able to share with you. And also I will use this for my next video, because thinking about all of this, I thought to be able to continue this video series, what really needs to be established by myself and by you, if you are willing to take that path with me, because it's your own personal journey and only you know what works best for you, and that is different for all of us individually, is that if we speak about using your challenge to become your greatest self, is that we have to establish, every one of us for ourselves, is that we have to find out what we perceive to be our greatest self. We have to establish that. And even if we are at a point that most of our days that we think we cannot achieve that, in fact that we don't even want to continue further because the pain is so bad that you don't even see your next day coming, actually that you want a way out, even though you are at that point. I have experienced this point very often also in this journey of the biggest transition for me. I have experienced this, that I really didn't know how to get to the next day. So I think that's very important. First you have to know how that feels, to know that you can come out of that and you want to go somewhere else. So even if for you are at that point that you think, I don't even believe that I have a part of me is my greatest self, it's just a name that we call it. I actually mean by that, it's the part of me that is the most empowered. So even if you don't think that you can achieve that, or you don't know how to achieve that, that is besides the point really. What we need to do is to establish it, because first, if we think we want to get there, we first have to establish what we mean by that. And when we do that, we put the train on the track. And once it's on the track and once it's moving, it's going, and we don't have to do that much anymore. It will go. So establishing what we mean by greatest self, and at the same time, by mentioning greatest self, we immediately speak about a lower self, by which I don't mean that is my bad self and the other one is my good self. You are both. And those days that you think, I cannot continue any further, this pain is too much for me, I don't know how to come through this struggle, no one believes me, my pain is invisible, people ignore me, no one can help me, how can I get through this alone? Why is this happening to me? I'm not strong enough. All of these thoughts, let's say a bad pain day, I would classify that under my lower self. But it's not in any way much less than my higher self, because it's both part of me. Your life is not only the ups, and it's not only the downs, and it's not a straight line. It's like the heart rhythm. It's a little bit up and a little bit down, and sometimes it's a little bit more this than that. But it is all part of the life, and the essence, what it is about, is balance. What it is about, and the purpose of this blog, is that coming to your greatest self means it's where we want to be more, because it's the empowering part of you. It's where your strength lies, and that's what we want to go to. But before we can really go there, and before we can be there for a very long time, and more and more prolonged periods of time, we have to establish what we personally mean by that, and what it is for everyone on a personal level. And to do that, also say, well, what is then my lower self, and in what way can that help me? Can that help me in achieving that, in coming to that greater self? So I want to speak about specifically this topic in my next video. And this video is all about my big transition, and it has done something to me on a very deep level. And I really am happy that I will be able to share that with you. And at this moment, I'm still in the midst of all the effects of this move, and what a move is, and everything that it meant for my chronic pain. And there have been very bad days that things have surfaced that I didn't even know that were going on within me. I had to work on the things that I found most difficult. For example, for me, these things have been resisting circumstances in my life. It is my coping strategy. Everyone has their own. Mine is often resistance, resisting what is happening, resisting pain, and then all of that costs energy, which makes things even worse. So that for me, it's resistance. And another thing was patience. And oh yes, you need patience when you go through two big moves in 3 months' time. So yes, that has been quite something, and it has brought a lot. So even though it was actually the most difficult thing I had to do, and even though my pain did not go in standby mode and got even worse, and it was an uphill struggle with some luggage on your back, this was also something that has brought me so many insights that I'm still processing. And wow, I can use a lot of that for upcoming topics in my blog. And so I really want to thank you for watching this video, and I also want to thank you if you have watched my previous videos, and exciting for what I will be sharing with you. And also, if you have not done that yet, you can also find me on my website, and that is www.silviamikitsa.com. And this is not necessarily about being sensitive and having chronic pain, but you will find something there. This is mostly about my other work, which is my poetry and my short stories in 3 languages: English, Serbian, and Dutch. And also, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel, and my next videos hopefully will come much sooner than the previous one. So a lot of interesting things to talk about. Thanks again for watching, and see you very soon, and take care.